Hey everyone, I had a request for a tutorial from Zab about making a shape key stay on or stay off at a certain period of time so that you can do more sort of idle animations. Here's that tutorial. Super specific, I know, but I thought other people might find it useful. So here on the Lex GV4 we have this blep shape key. We're going to use this one because it's easily identifiable and works quite nicely. So when it's on, the tongue is out, and when it's off, there is no tongue. So we're going to grab blep. To do that, we need to open our hand menu here and go to extract drive node. So grab blep, spawn it in the world, and so now if I type 1 in here, blep will activate, and if I type 0 in here, it will deactivate. Now we're going to start adding nodes. The first node we're going to add is a timer, and I'm going to set that to 4 here. And now every 4 seconds, a impulse will be generated here. We are going to wire that into a node called a Boolean latch. So a Boolean latch has a true false value that comes out, and it has a toggle, a reset, and a set. So if I pulse, let me just pull these out. So if I pulse set, it will set it to true. If I pulse reset, it will reset it. And if I pulse toggle, it will toggle it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hook up the timer to the toggle value, which means every 4 seconds, this will now toggle. I'm going to leave that up there. True, false, there we go. Now I'm going to use a special node in operators called 0, 1. 0, 1 takes a true false value and converts it to a 1 or a 0. So now every 4 seconds we get true and 1, and then 4 seconds later, false and 0. All that's left now is a smooth up. So smooth up here. We set the target value to target, pull out this, I'm going to set it to 4. And then we'll pass that to the drive node, and now every 4 seconds, it will toggle between blep is out or blep is closed. And it will wait 4 seconds with in both states. So 4 seconds open, 4 seconds closed. All that's left to do is pack that up. I'd recommend packing it in a separate place. For this tutorial, we'll just pack it into the body. We can get rid of the spare node. And now this avatar will forever be sticking its tongue out every 4 seconds. One thing to note though is that you need to ensure you're not using too many timers. Timers run all the time, and so if you have too many, they could be performance implications. Try to keep them low or find another way to do a timer. As a bit of bonus content here, another way to do a timer is a delay loop, so I'm going to show you that. So here's a delay node. I'm going to do an if as well. And then the true value of the if, just to explain if briefly, if this value is true, the pulse will come out the top, and if it's false, it will come out the bottom. So true comes out the top, false comes out the bottom. So we're going to leave it so that if it's true, then something will happen, and if it's false, then nothing will happen. And so here we do a true triggers the delay, and then we'll do a delay of say 2 seconds, and then when the delay is finished, you can do an action. So for that, you'll use because we need to do an action and then one other thing, we need to use sequence. Sequence will pass an impulse to more than one output. So we're going to use sequence here. So for sequence, we would do our action here. So set a shape key value, unset a shape key value. And then here, we would then route that background to here. And so what that means is, and if I put out this one, you'll see it. If I now pulse this once and it's false, nothing will happen. But if I pulse it and it's true, it will kick off the delay loop, whereby it will wait 2 seconds, pulse the sequence, which will do our action, flip back round to the if to check if it's still enabled, do a delay again, and then pulse round in a loop. If I want to stop the loop, I just set that to false. Could even do something more tricky here by doing flow fire on true. Fire on true fires a value when a boolean changes to true. So false, nothing happens. True, it changes. So if I replace this pulse here with a fire on true output, and I hook that into the if. Now when I enable this, it will kick off the delay loop. And then when I disable it, it will stop it. And then I can enable it again just by changing that. You could hook this up to like a controller shake key or a gesture or a button on your avatar or the active state of yourself being in the avatar, or even things like is user present? Is user present detects whether a user is within the world or not shelled out, so you could hook that up. So only when you're in the world does it cause this animation to happen. Various other things, and depending on what you need. Hope that helps. This illustrates kind of a sequence, a pattern that you might use everywhere. Keep in mind that you might see this in a few places. It does look a bit unneat because you have to go backwards. If you go backwards in logic, so you're usually doing something weird, but in this case, it is facilitating a nice closed loop. Hope that helps. Let me know if you need any other help on anything else.